Your behavior shows your personality. Good morning all. I am Arpana Kumari, Assistant Professor at Bajaj Institute of Management and Research. And today, on behalf of Bajaj family, I feel honored to welcome Ms. Subha Rajan ma'am, Senior Fellow Image India. Also, I welcome Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, Director, Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, faculty members and all dear students to this webinar and expert talk series on my life experiences. Bajaj Institute of Management and Research is organizing this webinar under able guidance of Shri Pankaj Agarwal sir, Vice Chairman, Bajaj Educational Institutions, and under inspiration of our venerated Director, Dr. Ajay Kumar sir. Today's webinar is organized with an objective to enrich students learning from the experience of life of Subha ma'am. This session also aims to empower and help students live a more inspiring, balanced, happier and successful life. So once again, we feel delighted to have presence of an energetic and versatile professional, Subha Rajan ma'am, who is currently Senior Fellow in Image India. Earlier, she was Director, Confederation of Indian Industry. Subha ma'am was the first CEO of OIFC, that's Overseas Indian Facilitation Center, jointly organized by Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs Diaspora. She has been a part of the World Economic Forum and the India Economic Summit. Currently, she is involved in counseling CSR, trade, economic promotion, and nation building activities. At a personal level, Subha ma'am is passionate about women's issue, the girl child, wildlife, environmental issues, and social injustice. Subha ma'am's work in philanthropy and women empowerment has been honored with awards in India and abroad. The awards include the Dadabhai Naroji Millennium Award for the Lifetime Achievement, Bharat Nirman Award, Pride of India Award, Karamveer Purushkar, to name a few. She also says that life has taught her that when hard times befall, the first to disappear are the fair weather friends. So, a very warm welcome, ma'am, once again. We also have amongst us Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, Director, Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, and having more than 33 years of experience in academics, research, training, and consultancy. Sir holds a tenacious personality. He is a practitioner of relationship marketing and an ardent supporter of rural upliftment program. Sir has conducted more than 600 seminars and conferences, and for his incessant efforts in academic excellence, he has been awarded with Peter Drucker Award by Laura Rice and Global Achievers Council Memorial Award at Convocation Ceremony of Global Peace University. With these words, I would now like to invite our Director, Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, for welcome address. Please, sir.
Respected Subha ma'am, present students and faculty members. On behalf of Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, it's a matter of great privilege to have Subha ma'am here for an interaction with the students, and specifically she has been asked to share her life experiences, which will give you enough idea about the challenges and about the positivity too. One can create fortitude, one can create future, one can create his own world if a person is having positive instinct and power to fight from zero. And the entire story of Subha ma'am, I believe that will be very inspiring. I'm not going to highlight anything because she will be the right person to tell her, as she is here. Her own words will be definitely motivating you all, and her own description or her own sensational rather journey, I can say, that has been will be very inspiring for all these students. And with these words, I would like to invite ma'am to share her sessions, lectures, deliberations, and motivate these students along with her own experiences, which will definitely be a great motivating factor for all these students and all faculty members present here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. And now I would humbly request Subha ma'am to please start the session. Ma'am, platform is yours. We are keen to listen to you.
Thank you, Ms. Kumari, Arpana Kumari, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Arpana. You speak so beautifully. Thank you for your lovely introduction. And Ajay ji, my old friend, one of the most inspiring professors. God bless you. God bless the Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, Mr. Pankaj Agarwal, all the faculty, staff, and my dear, dear students who are listening in. A big namaste, good morning, adhab, salam alaikum, etc., to each and every one of you. And I'm so delighted that you're all awake at 11 in the morning. Many of you would have preferred to sleep, I know, to listen to a poor person like me. And that is very humbling for me. And I consider it a proud privilege. So I will start by saying that one of the greatest qualities as human beings we should have is humility. I use the word humbling whenever I'm invited, given anything, an award, anything, because at the end of the day, you should never let it get into your head that you are greater than anybody else, because we are not. We have to be humble. At the same time, we have to be proud of our achievements. It has to be a beautiful balance between humility and pride at achievements. It should never be that you should be too humble to think lowly of yourself. At the same time, you should not be arrogant to think that you're superior to others. If you can maintain that balance in life, throughout your life, you would have achieved one of the first and greatest things of life. Look at Mother Teresa. She was humble, but she was proud of her charity work. That is what made her different to so many people who are just arrogant about the work they do, and there's no trace of humility. So keeping a bit of humility in you is something, one of the first messages I'd like to pass on to all of you, my dear students. I feel I can learn more from you than you can learn from me. But for me, life has been a very humbling experience. I have learned what it is to lose everything, to regain, to lose everything again, to come up in life the hard way. I have learned what it is to be living in a penthouse with 10 servants and 2 Mercedes Benz, and to be living in a railway station without even a cup of tea. I learned to be grateful to the small things of life. I was grateful when a peon gave me a hot cup of tea when I stood outside GLBIMR. I was grateful when I dined with Benazir Bhutto and Yasser Arafat and Clinton and had the best of food. But I did not let either of these things affect me. I kept that balance because life is all about a balancing act in the end. Have you all got my first message clearly? Just raise your hand if anybody has understood the first message. I don't see any raised hands here. Did you get my first message? Great. I see Mahi with her hands up. Apurva with hands up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because I don't see many people. I just see 3, 4 of you. Can you all see me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Apurva. So I'll start by telling you a bit about my childhood. I was the 3rd child of my parents, and I was born at a time when my mother was not allowed to have another child because she was very sick. And I was born premature, 7 months. I was born with asthma, came coughing into the world, and the nurse proclaimed me dead even before I was alive. So when I was born, I was coughing, and the nurse said, "Oh, this child I don't think this child will survive." Because I was so big, I was only as big as this pen, a little more, maybe. And they said, "This child is too small, she will not survive." And they almost proclaimed me dead. And I was premature on top of that. But my grandmother, who is my role model, incidentally, I'd like to say that your role model need not necessarily be Amitabh Bachchan or Ronaldo or anybody. Your role model could be just your grandmother, or even a servant who has been working long in your house. Anybody can be a role model. Doesn't have to be a famous celebrity or a personality. My role model was my grandmother because she's the one who taught me all the values in life, which I cherish later. She brought me up, and I spent the first few years of my life with my grandmother in her farm in Kerala. There, like the doctors predicted, I was a very tiny baby. I could not grow up. I had a lisp. I could not talk. Only thing I could do was run with the animals. My best friend was my dog and my calf and the cat, and I began to learn to love nature. My second message to all of you is that never give up your contact with nature, because nature is your best teacher. Never give up on nature, because ultimately it is nature who will take care of you. And once you have that connect with nature, everything else will fall into place. I am what I am today is because of my connect with nature. I ran barefoot as a child on the green grass, on the fields. And for a child who was told will remain a midget all her life and who will have a lisp, I think I've said some of these things before, and who had a lisp, I decided early in life that my motto would be never say die. Never give up in life. People will point fingers at you and say, hey, who's that? Priyanka Rathi? You are useless. Remember, Priyanka, you're not useless. I'm just taking a name. It's nothing personal. You are the best person going around. Once you say it in your mind and you decide that, you will be the best person. Don't let the world bog you down. Will you all remember that? The world will have cruel things to say about many people, but don't let it. Have confidence in yourself. That's my next message to you. Have confidence in your ability. I had confidence in my ability. The world told me I'll be a midget. The world told me I'll have a lisp. The world told me I would never go to school. The world told me that I could never do any sports. But I proved the world wrong. By the time I was 15, I was taller than my mother. By the time I was 18, I was taller than my father. Today, at 5 feet 10 inches tall, I'm taller than most of the women in India and maybe abroad. And this is for a lady, for a woman, a girl whom the world said will be a midget. So if I can do it, and if I can become sports captain of the basketball team and the swimming team, and stand for debates and talk in reasonably good in 5 languages. I also speak French, Malayalam, other languages. For a child who was told will have a lisp and will never speak, if I can do it, each one of you can do it, can't you? Yes? Rashi, what do you say? You can, right? Siddharth? Nod your head. I can at least see you nodding your head. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Yeah, great. So just remember, whenever you feel low in life and you feel that this is the end of everything, it's not the end, it's the beginning. Because if God has closed a door for you somewhere, remember, He is opening a much bigger window for you somewhere else. So don't take failure as failure. Take failure as a stepping stone to success. If you fail once, it doesn't matter. I have failed many times. I have committed severe mistakes in life. I have committed blunders in life. I have goofed up many times in life, but I have survived. So don't ever be on a guilt conscience. Will you remember that? You don't have the right to be on a guilt conscience. Remember, we are all human beings. We will all commit mistakes at some time. Learn from them. Just learn from them and pass it on as a stepping stone to something much bigger in life that you are going to get. So this is what I want to tell you. My childhood was not easy. I never had friends. Other children would not play with me because I had a lisp and I couldn't talk. But the love that the animals gave me, the dogs gave me, the calves gave me, the nature gave me, sitting on a mango tree, the love the trees gave me. Today, I respect nature. I protect trees. I stand and hug trees so that trees are not cut. And as a youngster, I even took a trip to the North Pole to prevent the seals from being clubbed. You know, they were killing the seals to get their fur. And they wanted volunteers to go there and put paint on the seals so that they don't club. And the blood used to splash all over the snow. So I have done a lot of volunteer work to prevent nature from being destroyed. Unfortunately for us today, one of our greatest disasters, why is there this COVID? Why is all this there? It is nature taking revenge on you. Because we have all abused nature. Please do not abuse nature. You are living because of nature. You are living because of the oxygen we breathe from the trees. Please respect nature, and big or small, whether it's a big oak tree or if it's a small worm. When I go for a jog and I see a small worm, I pick it up and put it in the side. People may laugh at me, but that worm has an equal right to live like you or me. It has been created, and there's a purpose for God in everything He created. From the common fly to the biggest elephant in the world, there's a reason. They're balancing out nature. The bee does so much bad. The honey it brings, the worms, the caterpillars, everything has a purpose why it is there. It is not for us to destroy them. They are needed for the balance of nature. So that's my next message to all of you. Please respect not only the human beings around you, respect your elders. Please remember how important it is to respect your elders. Respect your teachers. They are giving up their life to teach you. Look at Professor Ajay Kumar, how sincere he is when it comes to him wanting to reach out to you, get people to talk to you. It's because you people mean a lot to him. You are the future generation. You are tomorrow. You are tomorrow's India. We are all yesterday's India. You are tomorrow's India. You are what will make our nation tomorrow, not us. We are passé. You are the future. And for you to be the future, your first motto should be that you will take a determination today that you will say, never say die. I will never give up in life. Whatever happens, I will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you will. Believe me, you will. Just be patient and hang on there. Just hang on. My next message to all of you is that, and Ajay ji, I would like to speak only for half an hour because I prefer to have question and answers. So when I complete half an hour, please let me know. Because I prefer my dear students to ask me questions about my life. Have your priorities correct. Never prioritize on something just because it suits you. You've all heard the story about the vulture. There was this very famous photographer who went to Ethiopia when in Sudan, height of the famine, when people were dying everywhere, and he saw this little baby girl who was actually dying, and she was crawling towards the camp. She was a baby girl, and a vulture was hovering on top of her. The vulture always eats only after a person or animal is dead. It doesn't eat live. So the vulture was waiting for that baby girl to die so that it can eat the child, and she was skin and bones, and she was trying to crawl towards a camp. And this photographer took a picture of the vulture hovering over the child and her trying, and it became one of the biggest photographs of the world. And he was given a huge prize, a huge award for taking one of the finest pictures ever taken of the vulture hovering over the child and the child crawling over to safety. So when he went to get the award, a child in the audience asked him, "Sir, you were so busy taking the photograph. Did you stop to see what became of the child? Did you take her to safety? Do you know?" So the man said something like, "Oh, I don't know. I was so busy. My helicopter was waiting. I took the pictures. I ran away. Do you know what happened to the child?" So he was not able to answer. So the child said, "You're so proud. You're taking an award over here, but you didn't care whether the child was alive. Wasn't it your priority to take the child, take it somewhere to safety, feed the child, and see it is alive, rather than taking the photographs?" The photographer felt so bad, so ashamed of himself, because his priority was all wrong. Did you get that message? Your priority should not always be for self-gaining, just to get a moment of fame. It should be for something far more worthy. I have got into trouble because I've always tried to help a person whom I felt, even at the cost of myself. I've taken the blame on myself. I've got into it. But today, I don't care, because my brownie points were made in heaven, not on earth. I'd prefer to have my brownie points in heaven than to have human beings give me an award or say you did something great. I'd rather give that up and help a poor person. And I would like to, I don't know if how many of you, I have told the story of this little girl called Bubbly. A few years ago, a friend of mine, we were traveling in a village somewhere in remote Haryana, and my friend was a photographer, and he was taking pictures of the bees and the poor children over there. And there was a little girl there who stood in the photograph, and someone pushed her out and said, "Oh, you're so ugly. Don't stand here," in Hindi or Haryanvi language. And the girl went and fell down and hit her head on the stone, and she was bleeding. So I picked her up, and I found she was bleeding and half her face was completely burnt. So somebody told me that this girl, you know, in Haryana earlier, they used to boil milk in big cauldrons. So this pretty little girl was boiling milk, and some boy had pushed her into the boiling milk. And because of that, half her face was completely burnt. And she became so ugly after that. The children wouldn't play with her. They'll throw stones at her. They'll say, "You're so ugly. Don't stand here." So I picked her up, and she was a beautiful little girl. So for me, my priority was to take care of this girl and not to be taking photographs. So I picked her up and I asked her her name. She said her name was Bubbly. And everybody said, "Oh my God, they're just waiting for her to die because her face is burnt. Who will marry her?" I couldn't sleep that night when we went back. Whole car, I kept thinking about Bubbly. Whole time, you know, the beautiful girl. So I wrote a poem called Bubbly. It came from my heart about a beautiful girl called Bubbly, but she's not bubbling anywhere. She'll never bubble in her life. Her life is finished because of the cruel deed of somebody. She's suffering for it. Will no one ever help her? And I was crying when I wrote this poem. So there's something called serendipity in this life. There's nothing, it's a coincidence or whatever. The next day, I had a meeting with the Singapore High Commissioner. And while talking to him, when I took my card, this poem fell on the table. And he picked it up and he read the poem. And I said, sorry, sir, that Excellency, this is a mushy poem about a girl I met 2 days ago. And he read the poem and he started crying. He said, who's this girl? I want to help her. You won't believe it, friends. He put this poem in some magazine. Within a month, we had collected thousands of rupees for her. So he started a corpus fund for her. He told me, go back to the village and find her. So I'm cutting a long story short. We went back to the village. We found her. And then, of course, when you found her, people in the village started making, oh, you want to take the girl. And suddenly they started doing drama and all. But we convinced them. We brought the child here, took her to the hospital. We found a plastic surgeon. She went through 14 sittings. They cut skin from her thigh. They stitched a new eyebrow on her. She did complete plastic surgery was done for her. Even after that, she had a lot of money left. And when she came out, she was almost 99% okay. She became that beautiful, bubbling, bubbly again. And she became so beautiful, she went back and she became, from the pariah of the village, she became the princess of the village. And she was, within years, there's so many young men who wanted to marry her. So we put the rest of the money in a banking account for her, started a business for her. I mean, I personally don't know right now, I'm not in touch, but what I'm trying to tell you all, my dear friends, another message to all of you is, we all cannot be Mother Teresa's and great charity givers. But in your lifetime, if you can change the life of one person, you have done enough. If you can help one friend of yours, not necessarily through money, just by being with that friend at a time when that friend needed you, and that friend is going through a depression, if you can just be there to hold his or her hand and say, hey, don't worry, I'm with you, and change his life, that one deed will give you a place in heaven. You don't have to help the whole world. You're not expected to help the whole world. But if you can sacrifice your 5 minutes in life to do one good deed to one person in any way, even you're going on the road and you see a dog being hit by the car, most of you will drive away. Be truthful, won't you? Yes or no? Is there anybody who will say no? Put up your hand. No, you will stop and save the dog. Is there anybody here? Nobody? No? I don't see anybody putting up their hand. Come on, Archana, I'm sure you can put up your hand. Archana, do you hear me?
Students may give their reaction.
No, I don't see any. Will any of you, if you see a child being hit on the road, will you stop and save that child? Put the child in your car and take it to the hospital? Will you do it? Yes? At least nod your head.
Yes, many students are writing yes in the chat box, ma'am.
Acha, there. Oh, I'm not reading the chat box. Yeah, I can see. Because I see only two. I see Kanish.
Now
Kanish
many of them, they are writing.
And I see Aryan. And I see Archana. And I see Arpana. Yeah, I get a lot of chat messages saying, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you. Love you all. Love you all very much. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you. So the point I'm coming back to is this, that even if you're tearing hurry, you're going for an interview. Your interview is at 10 o'clock and you're going and a small child is hit by a truck in front of you. For you, your interview is more important. But you stop, you pick up that child, You make sure the child reaches a hospital and save its life. You miss the interview. You miss your job. Maybe here you may have thought, oh my God, but believe me, your scores have gone up much higher because you have made difference to one person in your life. One person. So all of you promise me that in your lifetime, you will bring difference to one human being. Will you promise me that? Can I get an yes at least in the chat? Will you promise me? Yeah, thank you, Shikha. We promise. Oh, thank you, Adarsh, Ankita, Amresh, etc., Monica, whoever I can see. Thank you all. Love you all so much, and God bless you all. I don't know if I've completed half an hour, but I have a lot more to say. Also remember, my friend, that every human being has a journey. When you meet somebody else, don't think that you're the only sad person, you're the only one who has problems. The person sitting on your right and the person sitting on your left will have a journey. I have a journey. I'll come to the last part of my story. Later, when I got married, we were in Africa, and we were caught in a civil war in Africa, in Liberia. My husband was kidnapped. They tried to shoot him, and I was with two small children in the house with no food to eat. And we lived for 20 days on one tea bag. We used to dip the tea bag and 5 packets of biscuits. We just lived on that. But it was our will to survive. My attitude as a child, never say die. And finally we were evacuated by the last plane. But if we had given up, we would have given up. Yes, I had to beg, borrow, steal to survive. But if it is a moment like that, you do it. God will forgive you. The courts may not forgive you. Society may not forgive you, but God's will forgive you because you're doing something to survive or to help somebody. When I came back, I didn't have even 5 rupees with me. I also learned in the hard way that people are very good to you when you're rich. But when you have lost everything, there are very few people who will stand by you. And those are your true friends. Whether it's your relatives or your friends, the person who stands by you when you have nothing, and not a person who stands by you when you have everything, is your true friend. So never lose your head thinking, oh, the world loves me. The world may not love you if you have nothing. But if they still love you, then it means a lot. I come from a very rich family. But when I went back, many of my relatives were looking this side, that side, because they thought I'd come back and would ask for my property. I took a train and came to Delhi. I slept in the railway station for 1 week with no food to eat. So I know what it is to travel first class, to travel, to live in a huge, have a Mercedes, and to be living in a station where even when somebody gave me a cup of tea, I was grateful to them. So nothing is permanent in life, my friends. Everything is temporary. Whatever you see around you, don't get arrogant in your head that I'm the most handsome, most good-looking person in this world, because nothing is permanent in this world. Remember that. Everything is temporary in this world. Never get arrogant. Never presume that the world will always remain like this. Because tomorrow something can happen to change it. So mentally, be always prepared that anything can happen to anybody, anytime. We are all in the hands of the Almighty. Man proposes, God disposes. But to take the challenges of life when it happens to you is what makes you different. To be able to accept the challenges, to fight the challenges, and to come out of it victorious, not let the challenges destroy you. It's what makes you a different person, a different individual, and an asset to your country tomorrow. Anyway, Another thing I'm passionate about is the girl child. Unfortunately, in India, we still don't respect the girl child the way she should be respected. Even today, when a girl child is born, generally they don't say Lakshmi is born or a beautiful girl is born. It's always, Are, ladki ho gayi. You can have 3 sons, everybody is happy. But if the 4th is a daughter, you're unhappy. Which is very sad. Because please remember, girls and boys, keep the balance. Hand in hand, you should go together. And you educate the girl child. You're educating the family. You're educating a community. You educate a boy child. You're only educating an individual. By a girl child, the entire community is educated. And she can bring laurels to you. So for me, protecting the girl child, for seeing she gets her rights in life, is something I'm very, very passionate about. In my life, I've met many heads of state, and I've learned from them. I learned from people like Benazir Bhutto. I learned from people like Clinton. I've learned from people like Yasser Arafat. I've learned from great leaders because God gave me an opportunity to meet them, interact with them. And I learned that at the end of the day, they're all very humble human beings like you and me. And if one of you tomorrow, you, my dear friend sitting here, you can be the president or prime minister of any place, any country, leader, CEO. You can be one of the most humble human beings I've met is Ratan Tata. You've heard of Ratan Tata? Chairman of Tata Sons, biggest industrialist in India. He's such a humble person. If he sees you, he will step aside, open the door for you to get in. When Taj Hotel was bombed, he personally went and made sure that even the smallest staff was taken care of. Nobody's pay was cut. Nothing was cut. That is Ratan Tata for you. That is what makes him a great person, not the fact that he's one of the richest people in the world. There are so many rich industrialists, but that is what makes him different. Then there's people like Godrej also. In spite of their big industry, they make sure that the mangroves of Bombay are taken care of, that environment is taken care of. It is not just their product they look after, they also take care of the environment. So keeping that balance between industry and environment is very, very important. Not enough just to make something. It's also very important that you look after the forests, the trees that give that to you, everything. So some of my role models are these industrialists I've worked with, Singhania, Mr. Sridhar of Metro, who started the Metro, Mr. Sridharan. Another wonderfully, Mr. Narayan Murthy, his wife Sudha Murthy, great philanthropist. Mr. Bajaj, Rahul Bajaj, another great human being. Even in the south, we have some absolutely, Mr. Suresh Krishna. These are all people of Sundaram Partners, Mr. N. Kumar. There are numerous industrialists who don't show off, but the amount they do for as philanthropy to help the poor, to help nature is unbelievable. So whatever you achieve in life, remember to give back to society. You must return to society. Now, will you all promise me that tomorrow when you all become big, successful industrialists or whatever you are becoming, you will return back to society? Promise? Please do that. Because it's very important. Society has given you something. Your BLS Bajaj Institute has given you something. Professor Ajay Kumar has given you something. Ms. Arpana Kumari has given you something. All your beautiful colleagues have given you something. Return back to society in whatever way you can. Give a scholarship to some of the students at Bajaj Institute when you become a great guy. Help a poor child to study. Will you do that? Thank you, Ayush. I can go on and on. I can tell you more about my life. I can tell you about my experiences with people. I can tell you many things, but I would like you to ask me questions also, because it's easier for me to understand what's in your mind and to be able to have a one-to-one with you. And also remember that if this woman sitting here, who was zero in life, who has committed some of the biggest blunders in life, who has gone through everything in life, from starvation to everything, if I can sit here today and talk to you, you can sit in Parliament House, in the Rajya Sabha, and talk to the world. This is my blessing on you, that I want one of you or many of you to be sitting in the Lok Sabha, or in the Rajya Sabha, or in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, or in some big Tata Sons or somewhere as the CEO, and talking to the world. You can do it, can't you? How many of you feel you can do it? You can do it? Yes, Priya. Yes, you can do it. So today you take a vow with me, and the vow is, I can do it, I will do it, and I'll show the world I can do it. This is a vow you're giving yourself. And if that ma'am talking to me today can do it, definitely I have no excuse to say I cannot do it. With all the handicap she had, she did it. So why can't I? You can. Because I see it in you. You have the future in your hands. Don't open your hands and give it away. So many problems will come your way. It has to come because that is life. Fight it. Okay? Promise? Now I want you all, Arpana, would you
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to open the floor to students to ask questions, please?
Ma'am, we have kept this option to write in the chat box, and many students have already written, and I would be asking question on behalf of them.
Okay, fine.
Okay, ma'am? Okay.
Can,
So,
okay, fine.
yeah. So thank you so much, first of all, ma'am, for such a wonderful session, beautiful and inspirational stories you have shared with all of us. Not only students, but faculty members are also mesmerized. You filled all of us with so much of positivity and motivation that we just feel like keep listening to you, as mentioned by students also. So big thanks to you, ma'am, for once again joining us and motivating all the new students who have joined us this year. So now the most important section, we are starting with the question answer round. And the first question that has come from Archana Tripathi, that ma'am, how to come out from the regret of the mistakes that we have committed in past. And since she's writing, she believes in karma. So how to just overcome from that the regret she's feeling, that the mistake that she has committed.
Okay. What's your name? The lady who
Archana.
asked the
Archana
Archana.
Tripathi.
Archana Tripathi. You know, that's a very, very valid question you have asked, Archana, because this is a question I've asked myself many times. Why, when I walked into some trouble, I was doing it to help somebody, but I walked into big trouble myself. But though I did it to help somebody, why I'm sharing this with you publicly is to let you know that sometimes karma makes you do things over which you have no control. So don't take it as a personal guilt. Take it as a lesson in life that you have done with that karma. It will not haunt you anymore. If you have not done with that karma, it can come back to haunt you later. So if you have walked into trouble, or if somebody has got you into trouble, or if something very bad has happened to you, and you have been thinking, what is this karma? Yes, I sometimes wonder. My husband was kidnapped in Liberia, and after he came back, he was not killed, but he was wounded. And today he is completely bedridden, he's paralyzed. And I think of it and say, what karma did I do wrong that this has happened to my husband? And I think, no, I take it as a lesson. This was meant to be. And maybe I'm glad I'm going through it in this life. And God made me his wife because he knew that I would take care of him. Like I told my friend Neelam the other day, she has a special child. And I told her, Neelam, he is not the special child. You're the special mother. Because why did God make you get this child? Because God knew that you are capable of taking care of him. Another mother may not have taken care of him. So that was your karma and that was given to you. So take it as a blessing. So Archana, all I can tell you is, whatever has happened to you, put it in the background, put it in the back burner. That was your karma. It was meant to happen. Nothing could have stopped it. And get on with life. And if at any stage you feel depressed or despondent, or you feel life is crumbling you down, I want you to call me. I've told this before to you, but please take down my number. If you have a paper, 98106 06759. I repeat, 98106 06759. Whether it is in the middle of the night or any part of the world I am, just send me a message that you need my help. And I'm there to help you. Okay? Don't give up. I'll be there for you. Never, never, never give up in life. Just call me. If it is possible, I'll take the call now. Otherwise, just message me or WhatsApp me. Ma'am, I'm a student of BLS Bajaj. I have a small problem. I'm not able to handle it. I feel I'm giving up in life. Please help me. Reach out to me. And I promise, even if I can't call you in the 5 minutes, within an hour, I'll get back to you. Or I'll message you back. This is my promise to you. Because I know when I went through such terrible times in life, when I thought I was almost in the point of wanting to commit suicide, people reached out. One hand reached out to me, for which I'll be grateful all my life. I committed some stupid blunders also in life. But I'm not feeling guilty about it. Because if you live with guilt, you cannot proceed. Bury your guilt and continue with life. Any other questions?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Are you
So
happy
much.
with my answer?
Archana, you can write in the chat box. You can reply in the chat box. Okay. She might be writing meanwhile.
Okay, no problem. We can continue with more questions.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So nice of you, ma'am. And that's what we see, the commitment towards humanity of yours. So nice of you, ma'am. Okay. So next question is from Shalini Jadau regarding how to overcome from fear of failure. Sometimes we all face failure, and they lose confidence. How they can boost that confidence again and come out of this fear of failure?
Fear of failure.
Yeah.
Right? That's what.
Yes, yes.
Okay, there's another question also before it goes away. I'm just reading it. Oh, can you repeat that about the NGO? There's a question on NGO.
Yeah, ma'am, I run NGO. We work for needy people and children. But when we go to help them by providing them the food, stuff and medicine, instead of taking those items, they ask for money several times. I try to get them some domestic jobs, but then also most of them refuse. So what to do in this situation, ma'am? Please tell us about this.
Okay, so I'll go to the first question first. That was on failure, no? Because fear of failure, right?
Yes,
That
yes,
was
ma'am.
your question.
Yes, yeah.
Fear of failure, right? What is the name of the student who asked this question?
Shalini Jadau.
Shalini. Shalini, my dear, there is no human being in this world, and I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. Okay, Shalini? Because I'm speaking from my heart to you. Shalini, there is no human being in this world who has not faced failure at some time in their life. Whether you're the most intelligent superstar in the world or the dumbest person going around, everybody has had some forms of failure in this life. The greatest singer in the world is supposed to be Elvis Presley. He's dead now, but they claim that he was one of the finest singers in the world. You may have heard of Elvis Presley. But the first time he went to give audition for his singing, the people who were auditioning him said, "Mr. Elvis, you're only fit to be a taxi driver. Why have you come here to sing? Your voice is not even good for taxi drivers to listen to." He was heartbroken. And for several years after that, he had that fear of failure, that I'm just fit enough to be a taxi. But he overcame that. He said, no. Somebody told him, Elvis, just forget about it. Get over this fear. Just go and sing in some open place. Let other people decide what you want. Anyway, I'm cutting a long story short. Elvis went on to become the greatest singer of all times. Suppose he had lived in that fear of failure, that I am good only to be a taxi driver, he would have died a taxi driver. Right? But because he overcame that fear and decided, no, I'm not going to let the world decide. So Shalini, I can tell you, all of us have fear of failure. I've had fear of failure many times in life. You have to take a deep breath. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have one or two people who will motivate and tell you, Shalini, go ahead and do it. You can do it. And you will do it. Do you know what is the most powerful thing in all our lives? Which is the most powerful machine we have in our life? The human mind. The mind is the most powerful thing. The mind can conquer anything. Why do we go into depression? Because it's our thoughts. Thoughts, thinking, this is what gets you down. You convert that negativity into positivity and use the human mind to conquer your failure. Because Shalini, you have the strongest mind in the world and your mind can conquer your fear of failure. So next time you feel that, oh my God, if I do this, I'll fail, or I'm looking so ugly, or I can't do this examination, let your mind conquer it for you. Or then give me a call if you still don't. Call me up. Okay, Shalini?
Yeah, I think Shalini, you got your response, and I hope you will definitely follow the steps that ma'am talked about. Ma'am, next question is asked by Anu Kumari regarding the public speaking and stage fear. A lot of the students rather ask this question: how to overcome from this public speaking and stage fear problem?
Who asked this question?
Anu Kumari has asked, and also
Anu Kumar.
yeah.
Okay. Anu, Kumari, what did I tell you in the beginning of my talk? I was born with a lisp. You know what is a lisp? Stammer. Till the age of 5, I could not speak even a normal 2 sentences, even in Malayalam. Forget English. I learned English much later in life. I used to speak like this. Thank. I couldn't say TH. It took me 5 minutes to say thank you. Thank you. Because I had a stammer. I had a lisp. When people came home, I used to be so ashamed. I would run away and sit on top of the mango tree because I thought everybody would laugh at me. That I was stammering and talking. They couldn't send me to school because I couldn't talk. Even till the age of 10, I didn't speak a word of English. I went to a Malayalam medium school. Even there, I was last in class. I was mocked by the other students because I was stammering. And then one day, I took a deep breath and decided, I will overcome this. I will make my failure into an asset. I was terrified of going on the stage because I thought if I went to the stage, I would stammer and the entire audience would laugh at me. But it's all within you. The first time I went to the stage, I was shivering because I thought I will start talking and everybody will laugh at me. But believe me, if you have that confidence and you go there and say, hey, the people sitting in the audience are as dumb as me. I can better than them. Get that confidence in you that you are good. Stand in front of the mirror. Talk to yourself, talk to the mirror. Then talk to 1 or 2 close friends, put them as the audience. Talk to them, gain the confidence. Let 5 people tell you you're good. Once you hear from 5 people that you're good, then slowly, little by little, you'll be able to conquer 1 step, next step, 3rd step, and soon you will be standing on the stage. And another thing, remember, even if I have stood on the stage and blundered sometimes, said something wrong, said something, made a mistake. But if you talk with confidence, even your mistake will become right. You understand what I mean? You have the confidence. You have made a mistake, big deal. To hell with it. But you're talking, the audience will think, maybe she's correct. Maybe we are wrong. So don't get frightened. Don't think, I have blundered, I've said something. Even if you say something wrong, do so. So when I stammered, I pretended that was like a happening thing. That stammering was a big fashion. And when I began to stammer and talk, the audience thought, maybe this is a new style. Because I did it with confidence. You understand? And nobody laughed at me. And slowly I got over it. Yes, I stammered in the beginning. But I made that my attitude. Okay, so I'm stammering. But I think it's perfectly all right to stammer. Okay, I made some mistakes. My English is not good. My grammar was all wrong. But that's my style. Have confidence in your style. Let the audience go to hell. And once you conquer that fear of the audience, after that, it will automatically come to you. It's the fear of the audience, that what are they thinking about you? But remember, they're also human beings like you, capable of making the same stupid mistakes that you're making. And if you tell them, I don't care what you think, I am what I am, and I'll speak what I want, I'll do what I want, take it or leave it, they'll take it. You understand, Shalini? Did you ask that question?
Anu had asked that question, ma'am.
Anu? And I would have liked to go on, but then I think there are other questions coming in. How much time do we have left?
Ma'am, around 10 minutes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we take one or two more
Yeah, one
questions,
or two.
please?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. One or two will be taken. Ma'am, these days we see that students very quickly and very easily get emotionally hurt. And one question is from Apurva Jha also regarding, ma'am, something hurt me emotionally. Then this time I just boost myself. But later on, again, my confidence goes off, and how to stay motivated and how to shrug off things when something hurt me emotionally, how to come out from that phase.
Who asked this question?
Apurva Jha.
Pooja.
Apurva.
Apurva. Apurva, remember, this is a cruel world we are living in. There are bound to be people who will hurt you. Learn not to give a damn. If I had been hurt when people poked fun at me when I stammered, or because I was so short, I was a midget, or because I couldn't speak English, if I'd let it hurt me, I wouldn't have been sitting here talking to you, would I? You have to learn, you know, there's a saying in English, it should be water off a duck's back. If you put water on a duck, it doesn't, does the water stay there? It falls off. Cruel words, cruel emotions should be water. You should learn to shrug it off and say, I don't care. I know myself. I will not allow another person to emotionally blackmail me. People are jealous in this world. People don't like to see you happy. People like to see you emotionally upset. People like to destroy you. But are you going to let them do it? No. You're not going to let the world bog you down. Remember, you're better than the world. You're better than the people who point fingers at you. So don't ever, even if you feel we are all human beings, we feel emotionally upset, but don't let that dominate your life. Write it on a piece of paper, go to the fire, burn it, or take it to the commode and flush it and say, I will not let you affect me again. You understand? And get it out of your life. So many people have hurt me, but I have not let it bother me. There are few people you trust in this world. Just be happy with them and continue to have a focus in life and throw away all the negative emotions that come your way. Don't let negative people come into your life. Don't let negativity come into your life. Keep positive friends around you. Keep positive energy about you. Get up every morning and say, I am going to have a great day today. I'm not going to let anybody upset me today. I'm not going to let the world bother me today because I know I'm going to, and I am a very positive person. I'm going to let the positive energies flow into my life. So please, please, please don't let anybody emotionally blackmail. Okay?
Yeah.
You promise me that?
Apurva, I hope you have got the answer, and you must have got the things that you have to exactly do, that you can just do away with the things that are emotionally hurting you, and you can come out from that phase. One question.
No, there was a question on some NGO. Somebody had asked a question on some NGO, right?
Yes.
Can I have that question again, please?
Ma'am, I'm just going through that.
Somebody had asked about somebody doing work with an NGO and they don't want food. You remember that question?
Yes, ma'am. That's somewhere.
Can I have it on the screen, please?
Let me take it, ma'am. Can Raj Pandey once again write this question because it has gone somewhere back in the chat
Okay,
box.
I got it. Ma'am, I run an NGO We work
Raj,
for,
yeah, ma'am.
hang on, for needy people and the children, and when we go to help them, it's going. Can I have that question back, please?
Raj
It's
Pandey,
gone
can
out.
you write? Yes, it's there. Ma'am, I run NGO. We work for needy people and children, but when we go to help them by providing them the food, stuff, and medicine, instead of taking those items, they ask for money several times. I tried to get that some domestic jobs, but then also most of them refuse. So, what to do in that situation?
You have to be firm, my friend. I don't think giving money is a good idea, because you give them money, you're just spoiling them. There's a saying in English, you give a man fish, he will eat for one day. You teach him fishing, he will eat for the rest of his life. So giving money is just a one-day solution, and it will not work. If you're working in NGO, the idea is to lay a good foundation for the NGO, to help the people there, help them in some technical training, help them with startups, help them to get jobs, help them with some skill development, so that they are settled for the rest of their lives. I personally do not believe that just because they ask for money, you should give money, because they are also looking for an easy solution. And we are not looking for an easy solution. If you genuinely want to help them, teach them, talk to them, help them to find jobs, give them food, give them clothes, but definitely don't unnecessarily give money and spoil them. This is my advice to you. So what you're doing is correct. You're trying to find them jobs, and if they don't want, that's their problem. Okay?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So I think max of the questions have been covered, but one question which has been asked by most of the students would quickly like to take, ma'am. How do you stay motivated? What is your month? How do you stay motivated? How do you keep yourself motivated? What
How do I
practices do
keep
you yourself?
myself motivated?
Yeah. What's the practice do you follow?
I'll tell you how I keep myself motivated. Every day when I go to sleep, I thank God for the small things in life. Not for the big things in life, for the small things in life. If you can learn to be grateful to God, to nature, to the universe, for the small things, the 3 good friends you have, the 2 friends who care about you. I'm grateful to my 2 dogs, Kala and Cindy. They are right here next to me, who have kept me alive through the worst times. And that's because I'm a dog lover. I'm grateful to them. My horrible moments, my dogs have been with me. They have motivated me. So and more than everything, I have, even in my worst times, I've not lost faith in the universe. I believe in the space theory that everything comes around. You do something good today, it will remain in space. That some people call it God, some people call it universe, some people call it by any name you want. Rama, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, anything. But it's actually a space theory. It is the universe returning back to you. So if today you do one good deed, it doesn't come back to you within 1 hour, 1 week, 1 year. It remains in the universe. It's the space theory, and it will come back to you. Similarly, you do something bad. You think I have got away with it, but you don't get away with it. It will remain in space and come back to you. So believe in the space theory that the universe will take care of you. Even in your worst of time, have faith in the universe. Let the universe motivate you. And thank the universe for whatever it's given you. Thank the small things. If you have good parents, thank them. I thank God my husband is still alive. Though he's paralyzed, he's alive. He's a good man. He's there. And he motivates me. Though he's in bed, You know something? One thing you must all remember in life is ultimately in human relationship, it is not love, etc. You know what keeps a relationship going between two people? It's one thing. You know what it is? Anybody wants to put an answer? What is the one thing that keeps a relationship between two people, husband, wife, friends, anything going? Oh wow, who said trust? Who said trust? Trust, 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 trust. I congratulate the person who said trust. Yeah, it's trust. Sunil Kumar, trust, Sakshi. My God, you're a bunch of absolutely brilliant students here. See, in my case, when I started working, I used to come back at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night every day. And my husband had come from, he was wounded. People would point fingers at me. Here is a young woman coming back at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, but that was my job. My husband would open the door for me every night, but he never asked me the 4 W's. Why were you late? Where were you? Who were you with? Or what were you doing? Every night he asked me only one question. Do you know what it was? Can you guess what it was?
How was it?
Have you had your dinner? How was your day? That's a beautiful answer. That's a beautiful answer, yes. But my husband used to ask me, have you eaten something today? Have you had your dinner? Did you take your, oh, Sumit Kumar Suman, congratulations to you. So it was that trust that kept my relationship with my husband going. The trust he had in me. When the whole world did not trust me, he trusted me. So today, I am proud to take care of him. I'm honored and privileged to take care of him because he's a trustworthy person who trusted me when the world did not trust me. So ultimately, that trust is the motivation that keeps me going. And the second trust is you people that you have got up today to listen to me. The trust you have in me is my motivation for today. It's so important for me. The wonderful messages I'm seeing here makes me so motivated. The trust each one of you, Arpita, I can just see these messages as you come along. It brings tears to my eyes that you people have so much trust in me, that you're all listening to me. And that is so motivating for me. For me, ultimately, it's relationships and trust. The only people who actually give you unconditional love are normally your mother, your parents, and your dogs. They say unconditional love comes only, but it can come from other friends also. Today, all of you have given me unconditional love and unconditional trust. And that means a lot to me. That has been most motivating for me today. God bless each and every one of you. And I hope you have a wonderful life ahead. Great things come your way. You make great success of your lives. And maybe when I'm an old woman, one of you will come and say, hey, ma'am, your talk is what inspired me that day to be what I am. For me, that would be the greatest achievement I would have had. If 5 years from now or 10 years from now, I get a message from any one of you saying that day, I was in the point of giving up, but I didn't give up when I heard you.
Yeah.
That will mean everything. That is my motivation. And that is why I don't give up. Maniraj Kumar, thank you for your beautiful message. Shubham, I'm reading some of the messages. I'm getting some absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Sumit. Saket, they're going fast. God bless. How much time do I have left, or is it time to wind up or what?
Yes, ma'am. I think max of the questions have been covered, and students have all got
One
so
last
much.
question anybody has? Yeah, there's just a question that came up. Can we go back to it?
How much I should worry about others think of myself? What should I do if my
Okay.
parents are continuously comparing me to all my other siblings and other colleagues?
Who asked that question? Who
Yes,
asked that question?
yes. I'm checking it, ma'am. It's actually going so fast. Rashi Sharma, Rashi Srivastava, Rashi Srivastava.
Rashi.
Yes,
This is
yes,
probably
ma'am.
the last question I'm answering for today. I'm going to give you my own personal example. I have only one sister. She's older than me. She was born brilliant. She's an IAS officer today. She was born pretty. She was born tall. She was born intelligent. I was born with nothing, none of these things. She was born with parental love because she lived with my parents. I lived with my grandmother. And I was constantly compared to her. Ever since I can remember as a child, everybody would say, oh, look at her. She's so intelligent. She's so bright. Look at you. You're so dumb. You can't speak. You can't talk. Look at her. She's like this. I was constantly compared to a far more intelligent older sister. I had two choices, either to sink into an inferiority complex and spend the rest of my life blaming God and blaming universe and blaming nature, or to show the world, big deal. I don't care for this comparison. I will show you that I am as good, if not equally good. So I exercised, I ran. She became 5'6", 5'7", whatever height. I became 5'9", 5'10". I became taller than her. She couldn't do any sports. I looked at what she couldn't do. I could do sports. She could not swim. I became the best swimmer. She could not play basketball. I became a good one. She could not act in plays. I acted. She was intelligent, I agree. I could never supersede her in her intelligence, but I could supersede her in other things. I could cycle faster than her. I could do 100 things better than her. So I did those 100 things. I don't care if she's better than me in other things. And I didn't let, my parents used to compare me all the time with her, but I didn't let it bother me. I did the things I was good at, and I showed them. So will you promise to do the same thing? Okay?
Yes, yes. So many yes we are receiving in the chat box.
I'm getting thousands of yeses. Thank you all so much. I'm so happy to get all these beautiful messages from all of you. And I really feel that I'm addressing some of the brightest minds in the world and some of the sweetest kids I've ever met. And I can see in each and every one of you that what potential you all have. Potential in one of you may be good in chess. One of you may be good in music. So what I would advise you to do is learn an instrument. Do what you're good at. Don't worry. If you're good in painting, paint well. Become a good painter. You don't have to become a great politician. You can become a good, you don't have to be good in everything. Just concentrate and become good in one thing and be better. Let your parents compare you. Say your brother is good in mathematics. Okay, to hell with it. I'm good in something. I'm good in climbing trees. Or I'm good in something else. Don't lose faith in yourself. You're good in something. So show it that you're good in that. Maybe you're good in putting on cutting hair, or working in a beauty salon, or acting, or anything. You may be good in keeping house. You may be a good homemaker. You may be a good cyclist. You may be a good football player. So what? That thing is important, what you're good in. Everybody doesn't have to be good only in studies. I was not good in studies. So don't get a complex that, oh, I'm not first in class, I'm not good in study. Yes, make an attempt. But don't let that give you an inferiority complex. You got it? You're good in something in this life. Even if you're not good, so what? You're yourself a good person, that's enough. You don't have to be good in everything in life. Just be good with yourself. Be happy with yourself. Be content with yourself. Be proud of yourselves. Because you're worthy of being proud. Each one of you have reason to be proud of yourself. You're not small people, you're big people. Big hearts, wonderful people with great futures. This is my prediction. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
be what you are. To just bring out the best within you, whatever it may be. Maybe tomorrow you're walking and you save an ant on the road. That makes you a big person. You've saved a life. An ant is about to be killed. You pick up the ant and you put it there. Feel proud of yourself. You've saved a life. Don't think
Definitely.
there's nothing small in life. It's a God of small things. There's a God, big and small, everything is the same. You may be short, you may be tall, you may be dark, you may be fair. You may be beautiful, you may think you're not so beautiful. But within you, all of you are beautiful. Beautiful, wonderful human beings. Okay?
Yes. So, ma'am, already infused so much energy in not only students but all the listeners, faculty and staff members who are listening to you. You have always been an inspiration, kind and generous, and indeed, I am wordless to extend our thankfulness to you for joining us today and sharing such a motivating story, and of course motivating our students also. Your presence just emanate positivity all around and infuse energy in all the listeners. Thank you so much once again, ma'am. And now I would request Dr. Ajay Kumar sir to please share his remarks, sir. Please, sir.
What should I say? It's a wonderful session. And let me tell the students also that I have the privilege of listening to ma'am for the last 23 years. 1997, I met her for the first time. At the time, I was among the crowd and I listened to her. 98, 99, then every year, for one thing or other thing, I used to meet her, if not physically, over phone. And I have been blessed by her on many, many occasions by her sessions for these students. So she has been supporting me a lot, and I have been motivated by her because when I listened like you, naturally, everything comes from her heart, from the core of her heart, and it always motivates a person. So I was also a person who got motivated, and that's why I arranged this session for all of you. And I believe all of you must have got something valuable by her experiences, sensations, and apprehensions, which she received over the years. And she always remains present everywhere with a smile on her face. So naturally, she is among the most motivated or most happy person which I have seen in my life. So students, as she has asked, keep in touch with her. If you need any problem, if you need any support in your problem, you can contact her. I know that she will always be there to help you out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay ji. Thank you, all of you. Wonderful talking to you all. And you asked me what motivates me. You motivate each one of you there. pointing to each one of you there. You people motivate. God bless you all.
Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
On behalf of entire GL Bajaj family, we would like to extend our hearty thankfulness to Shubha ma'am for sharing her immense knowledge with us and enlightening us with her words of wisdom. Many thanks, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time, and really look forward to extend and have more sessions with you in future. And would like to pay our sincere thanks to our director, Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, for organizing such a wonderful session. Thank you all the faculty members and students.
Thank you. Goodbye. God bless. And God bless your institute, JL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research. God bless you all.
Thank you,
Take
ma'am.
care.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ajay ji. Take care. Each one of you take good care of yourself because you're worthy of being taken care of. Each one of you, remember, you're a precious person and you should take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else can. So go out there into the world and take good. And remember, you're the best. You, Raki Kumari, I can see you're the best. Okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.